Hello children, welcome to Story Time with Auntie Roo. Are you ready for a new adventure? Shall we begin? Say yes to read. Children, today we will be going on a nature trail in a jungle in Storyland. Good to see that all of you are dressed in your winter clothing. So, come, let us zoom off to the Storyland jungle. We have reached the jungle. How different it looks! We can't see many green leaves and flowers too. Instead, everything is covered in white snow. And not just that, the jungle is quieter than usual. I wonder where all the birds and animals are. Oh look, here comes a baby snow owl. Children, the baby snow owl is telling us why we can't see many animals and birds in the jungle right now. Let us hear what he has to say. From the book Little Owl's Snow by Divya Srinivasan. A chill cut through the forest. Little Owl fluffed his feathers. Something is happening, he thought. Green leaves turned orange, gold, and brown, and then began to fall. Geese flew off to warmer places, navigating by starlight and honking all the way. Dry, fallen leaves rustled and crackled as animals scurried, preparing for the cold. Bear was eating all day and into the night. Winter's almost here, Little Owl said. Isn't it exciting? Winter's too cold, Bear shuddered. I am staying in. Bear sleeps through all the fun, Raccoon whispered. You'll see. Bats disappeared into a cave. Caterpillars closed up in their cocoons. Goodbye, Hedgehog called. See you in spring. And he wiggled into his warm winter home. Little Owl thought he saw a moth. But it was only a leaf in the wind. The forest felt so empty now. The friends were making a fog when it happened. Snow! Soon the forest was blanketed in snow, its crystals glinting in the light. Tracks began to appear. Not everyone was hidden away. Little Owl hopped atop a frozen pond, watching fish swimming underneath. How strange and wonderful it was. But one night, Little Owl started to miss Hedgehog. Mama, Little Owl asked, how much longer till spring? Snow is like a special secret. Not everyone can know, Mama said. Are you ready for it to melt away so soon? The forest was very quiet. Little Owl could hear the smallest sounds. Tap, tap, an icicle dipped onto a patch of slush. Mama told Little Owl he would see fireflies again. He would see Hedgehog too, soon enough. But right now though, it was time to enjoy the snow. Okay. Thank you, Little Owl. So now we know that some animals and birds like the bear, hedgehog and bats have gone off for their winter sleep. They will now wake up only in spring. You know, children, This is known as hibernation. And some other animals, birds and insects like geese and butterflies will fly off to warmer places. This is called as migration. All these animals, birds and insects will return to this jungle in spring when the weather is warmer. Interesting, isn't it? And now, here is a fun activity that you can do at home. You can find out some other animals, birds and insects that hibernate or migrate. Do find out and let me know, okay? Great! Come then, let us continue to walk in this jungle. And as Little Owl's mama suggested, we too should enjoy the snow. Oh, and who is that chirping here? Hello, little bird. Where are you off to? Okay, so you are on your way to the south. Tell us, how is it there? And do you like it there? Or do you miss this home of yours? Oh, okay. Children, let us sit down here and listen to this little bird's story too. From the book Little Home Bird by Joe Empson. Little bird loved his home. Each day he sat on his favorite branch. He ate his favorite food. He listened to his favorite music. And he looked out over his favorite view. Ah, thought little bird, home. But one day the wind blew cold and the leaves started to fall. Little bird's big brother wrapped his wing around him. Little bird, he said, did you know a home can be here or there? It may be near or far, big or small, and even hot or cold. And sometimes you can have two homes, just like us. It is time to fly south to our winter home, where the food is plenty and the wind's breath is warm. Little bird felt sad at the thought of leaving his home. He would miss sitting on his favorite branch, eating his favorite food, listening to his favorite music, and looking out over his favorite view. But then he had a good idea. He would take all of his favorite things with him. Then, wherever he was, it would always feel like home. And so, he set out to pack his favorite branch, his favorite food, and his favorite music instrument too. All the birds gathered and their long journey began. Higher, higher, and higher the birds flew. And little bird followed with all his favorite things. Little bird tried to follow close to the other birds' tails for the fear of getting lost. But soon he had to lessen his heavy load. So, with a splish and a splash, he dropped his favorite branch. And his favorite branch found a new home, much to a dog's delight. The dog picked up little bird's favorite branch from a puddle to play with. And further south the birds flew. The strong east wind blew and swept little bird on his way. And so, with a whoosh and a swoosh, he dropped his favorite music. And his favorite music found a new home, much to a shepherd's delight, who loved listening to it. And further south the birds flew. The clouds clapped with a thunderous roar and sent little bird into a spin. So, with a rumble and a tumble, his favorite food found a new home as little bird dropped it, much to a porcupine's delight. And further south the birds flew. After many days and many nights, the birds reached their winter home in the south, where the food was plenty and the wind's breath was warm. Little bird no longer had his favorite things, but he soon discovered lots of new favorite things, and it soon felt like home. So, twice every year, along with many other little birds, Little Bird and his family would make the long journey between their two homes. Across oceans they would fly, over mountains and through deserts, with many adventures along their way. Wow, Little Bird! You are indeed very lucky to have two wonderful homes. And thank you for stopping by and talking to us. Bye-bye. Enjoy your trip to your winter home. We will wait for you in the springtime. See you soon. Children, sometimes it's best to enjoy the new things in life. Sometimes when we hold on to our old things, we miss out on enjoying the new things that life has to offer, isn't it? Just like Little Bird's family, most of the birds, animals and insects migrate for food and warmer weather. And while some animals and birds like the grave whales, monarch butterflies and Arctic terns travel very long distances, some smaller animals like frogs go only short distances. Nevertheless, long or short, these journeys are very fascinating, and scientists are still trying to learn more about them. And now, Little Bird has flown away. But who's this? Why, it is Mr. Bear. How come Mr. Bear has not gone for his winter sleep yet? Let us find out. From the book Sleep, Big Bear, Sleep by Maureen Wright and illustrated by, that means the pictures in the book are by Will Hillenbrand. Old Man Winter from a storm cloud spied his big bear friend in the countryside. He leaned to the earth and softly sighed. "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But Big Bear didn't hear well. He couldn't sleep in his den in the dell. He thought he heard as twilight fell, "Drive jeep, Big Bear, drive a jeep." So, Big Bear yawned as he drove around in a jeep on a road just south of town. But after a while, he stopped in a park, and Old Man Winter whispered as it grew dark, "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But Big Bear didn't hear well. He couldn't sleep in his den in the dell. He thought he heard as dry leaves fell, "Sweep, Big Bear, sweep." So Big Bear went to a house down the street and swept each room so nice and neat. But after a while, he yawned again, and Old Man Winter warned his friend, "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But Big Bear didn't hear very well. He couldn't sleep in his den in the dell. He thought he heard as shadows fell, "Leap, Big Bear, leap." So Big Bear found a frog he knew and played leapfrog while the cold wind blew, till all at once he fell to the ground. The wind through the trees was the only sound. And Old Man Winter said with a frown, "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But Big Bear didn't hear very well. He couldn't sleep in his den in the dell. He thought he heard, as darkness fell, "Dive deep, Big Bear, dive deep." So Big Bear padded to a clear blue lake, finding it hard to stay awake. He dove in deep and swam to the shore. He had never been so tired before. His head dropped down and he let out a snore. And Old Man Winter said once more, "Sleep, Big Bear, sleep." But Big Bear didn't hear very well. He couldn't sleep in his den in the dell. He thought he heard, as snowflakes fell, "Climb a mountain steep, Big Bear, steep." So Big Bear trudged to the mountain top, where the cold wind blew and the temperature dropped. He sat on a stump on the highest spot and wished for a blanket and a fold-up cot. Then he stumbled back down with his eyes half shut. So tired, he didn't know which end was up. Old Man Winter yelled while shaking his head, "Hey there, Bear! Did you hear what I said? It's winter time. Now go to bed." Big Bear's eyes were droopy and red. "You could have told me before," he said. He lumbered nearby to his cozy den, rubbed his eyes, and yawned again. He put on his PJs and blew out the light, and fluffing his pillow, he said, "Good night." Poor Bear! If only he had heard Old Man Winter right the first time, he would have been able to sleep much earlier. Instead, he rode a jeep, swept a house, leaped with a frog, dived deep in the lake, climbed a steep mountain. Phew! But now, finally, Big Bear is off and asleep in his cozy den. And now, children, it is becoming dark here. That means it is time for us to go back to our homes too. Let's go. Children, did you have fun today? And we learned today from our forest friends about two things that many animals, birds and insects do in winters. Can you remember what they are? Excellent! Hibernation and migration. You can try to find out if there are any animals or birds that hibernate or migrate in the places you live in. Like I live in Mumbai in India. Here we don't have any animals hibernating, but thousands and thousands of flamingo birds migrate to Mumbai during winter season, and seeing those pink flocks of flamingos is a beautiful experience. So, go ahead, try finding out and let me know too. I would love to hear from you. And now, children, it is time for me to say goodbye to you. But, as always, I will be back again with a new adventure. Till then, goodbye and take care.